Alright guys, so what we got here is a 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited 4x4. And this poor old girl was rolled in 2015. It was rolled sideways into a ditch. Landed right there. I don't know if you can tell, there was a little bit of a scratch. This unit came from the same place. Actually, it was parked next to that red 99 Durango, but it was parked more than 5 years after. Anyway, this unit cost a whopping $300, and it drove home. Immediately after driving home, it popped a brake line down here naturally. Ignore the hole in the body. But there's a brake line just up here that's got a hole in it. Actually, I think it's broken to pieces. But this unit does run and drive technically. It has 272,345 miles on it. Makes plenty of oil pressure. She's starting to warm up here. It's been running. She's charging. Has no gas in it. And the sunroof is stuck open. The sunroof has been stuck open for a couple months here. And actually, it was dry all summer, and then we got torrential rainfall in the last couple days, and it got pretty wet in here. So I pulled it out, had all the windows down. I've been letting it air out. We're gonna see what we can do to make this unit roadworthy again. I think my dad wants to use it as a winter beater. Technically, this is his. He bought this one for $300. I got the Durango, I think, for $350 or $400 or something like that. But yeah, I think he wants to make this one his winter beater for this year. But I gotta get his sunroof down. It went up, and he made the mistake of putting it up, and then it didn't come back down. Anyway, there's a motor up in here that's stuck or something. Whatever, we're gonna get it down. It's gonna stay down. But yeah, let's do a quick walk around. So, obviously, it's got this nice, beautiful front bull bar on it that's got a bend in it from being rolled. Did you believe that? Yep, license plates. It was due in May of 15. I think it was rolled in the winter before that. The hood had a decent dent in it. We popped most of it out, actually, but it was a very gentle roll, I want to say, because it's got dings and dents. There's no broken glass or anything, luckily. But yeah, it's a Grand Cherokee Limited. It's got all-time all-wheel drive, and then you can put it in like 4-low, as you can see there. What is that? Guarded Track 2 is what it says on there. This door handle kind of sticks open, needs lubed. It hit real hard right there. Got real lucky, didn't shatter this glass. Didn't shatter the rear hatch either. That's the only dent in this corner. The hatch has got no dents in it at all. Hatch looks good. Bumper looks good. It's got a little ding right there. It's got that V8. I don't know. I think it's got a 4.7 in it. A little bit of a ding right here in this quarter. This door's all. This might have been from something else too. That door's got a dent in it. Rockers are rusty. But other than that, it's not that bad. Needs a new fuel tank holder upper thingy, shell, whatever you want to call that. That's putting in some real work right now. Motor sounds good. This mirror's cracked. It's still there. Took a hit right here when it went down. Creased the fender a little bit. That might be able to get pulled out if you get up under here. Kinked the hood a little bit. Not bad. Cracked the windshield, or the windshield was cracked before. Hard to say, but it's not terrible. The front brakes do work despite the rear one, so you can kind of slow to a stop. Show you what kind of fucker we got going on under the hood. It's not. Let's just say the electronics been tinkered on a little bit. Hood shocks are no good figures. Yep, it's got a 4.7 V8 under here. Fan shroud's busted up. Don't put your fingers in there. That spider needs to go back in, actually. So whatever that mess is, and I think I recorded myself pulling it out so I knew how it went back together. That keeps the dome lights from coming on. at all times and staying on. So I don't know what's going on there quite yet. I haven't quite figured that out. There's a random mystery wire going off to nowhere there. There's another wire hooked up to the ground there. And I don't know, it runs fine, so better to just leave well enough alone, I think, and reverse that, put that back, actually. Hood light don't work. Yeah, like I said, shocks don't work. It had an AC service in May of 2010. So, I don't know, is there any other stickers under here? I don't know, I'm putting this down. It's got a Carver County Parks sticker from 2009 on here. The wipers on it somehow are actually decent. I'm sure they smear, I don't know. Yeah, October of 99. I don't know. You guys can look at that, whatever you want to see. There's a rusty layers down here that was sitting in water. It's still damp. The floors are still damp. That's unfortunate. Whatever. I think the radio does work. Sometimes the I don't know, what do you call them? Not LEDs, but like digital lights. These will flicker on and off sometimes. They seem to be working great right now. The only lights we got on, we've got, well, only I say, got an airbag light, ABS light, seatbelt light, brake light, gas light. We can make that one go away, we can make that one go away, we can make that one go away. Probably that one too. I don't know what's up with that one. Can I... Anyway, yeah, you can click, it doesn't do anything. Dome lights are stuck on, it doesn't matter. It does have dimmers and lights in the vanity mirrors. It does have the optional hanging mirror. I don't know what this does. Oh, is this auto dimming? Yeah, it's auto dimming. So that's fancy. We've got power windows, power locks, power mirrors, locking power mirrors for the rear, and we have two seat, it is power seats with memory. Power memory seats is the phrase I meant to go with, or should have went with. They are leather seats. Granted, they're wore out. They've been sitting for a million years. Optional wet floor. It's a gray interior with wood trim for the Limited. Nice handle, or armrest, I should say. And that's the hood thing. The rear, it is just a 5-seater. That's the rear hatch. I think that must have been stuck. Yeah, I mean, it's a Jeep. Rear power windows, manual power lock, or manual locks in the rear. Child safety locks, blah, 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 blah. I think it's got keyless too and cruise. Yeah. Okay. Ah, shit. I hit the wipers accidentally, and the wiper came off on the driver's side. Okay, I'm learning things about this. Horn works. Did I say it's got a cassette? Yeah, I think we've shown about everything. It's up to temp now. That's cool. Stinky, smoky Jeep. Oof. Keep the oil and coolant in this one. Runs good though. Looks like it's got a factory matching aluminum wheel spare that it's blown. So that's cool. But we got rear outlet here, but also we've got if I can keep it open, a 10-disc changer hiding in here. I don't know how it works, but it's certainly in there. That's cool. Oh yeah, kind of just get some space cleared out here. Fold the seats down so I can work in here and pull this trim out. Probably pull the seats out. Everything needs to get pulled out of here at the state of this vehicle. Yeah, it needs a deep clean. This channel's all clogged up here. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think that's the factory amp sitting there in that pile of shit. Yeah, this is all gonna come out, so. We just got the front trim to do. They get the headliner out anyway, but we're working away. I think I'm gonna get the rear carpet out next, because all I got left to do is the seatbelt bottoms. Why the fuck were these riveted? Why? Front seats out, front trim out, console's out. It's gross in here. It's starting to smell better though. I think it's really gonna help when this guy right here, which is next, disappears. I gotta yank him out. Then I get these out, figure out the sun visors and the overhead console, and the headliner should start coming out here. We can get at that motor for the sunroof. Headliner's out. I gotta get the wiper washer hose undone properly, but everything else is out. Working on getting the headliner, or not the headliner, the sunroof like structure here out, and it's 610 mils going around. But make sure you get the drip lines. These are the drains. There's 4 of them. Make sure those are clear. These are all clear. Mouse chute kind of got up in these ones, but they'll still flow enough. But I'm working on the last one here. Should have this assembly down here. I'll be able to get at here. Here's the motor right here that's bad. Can't test it because the headliner and the what do you want to call it? The wire harness to power this is gone. So I'll have to figure that out. Looks like the 2 power pins are on the right side here. So I'll be able to test that motor, clean it up, do what I can to it. Just a regular window motor almost. Yeah, this thing is mouse condo status. 1 mouse condo. 2 mouse condo. That's a double-sized condo. There was kind of a condo under here. Vaguely in this direction there were some condos. I think there's a condo in that quarter, and we know there's more than 1 condo in here. And there was definitely a giant multiplex in that glove box. And I believe I kind of pulled one out of here too. Surprisingly, this condo was vacant. That one's open, that one's for rent. Call the management team for more info on that one. So, yeah. Ooh. I like these little covers they had over that to, like, you know, give these guys some privacy, you know, because that's what they need. Yeah. The smell's getting better as it airs out. Oh, yeah. Can't forget there was one up here too in the corner. The corner we need to punch out from when it was slightly rolled. But it smells getting better-ish, kind of. Once this stuff's all out of here and this gets scrubbed down real good, that'll help a whole lot. So that's where I'm going next, is extraction. And then once we get this thing scrubbed down and cleaned up, start working on our skylights or our floor lights a little bit. Gotta get the sunroof back in. That miraculously is fixed now. Gotta clean that stuff over there on the tarp. So I took a sledge to that on the inside. I think I made it a little better. I think it's a little bit better, but the whole thing is just like, somehow this is fine, but structurally on the inside it is just foobar here. And it's way too close to the window for me to want to bang super hard, but we'll just live with that. Alright, look at that. Little shits. That cable needs spliced. There was one that's really bad in the radio there. That needs redone. I have to keep an eye out. I have to pay attention to what these cables look like, because these mice got fucking everywhere, and that's just full. Yeah, that's not ideal. Alright, well, we got the main part of the dash shut. Now we just got to get this shell out, and then it's the heater box. We're almost there, actually. This came apart all right. Similar to the Caravans. I mean, they're all about the same. Chrysler product stuff anyway. They put them together the same way. Alright, I'm gonna teach you a thing or two here about this mother... I'm pissed. Got it though. So, to get this out, it's a bunch of, I think 10 millimeters are on the side. You'll see them, a couple screws around it. And I had it, you know, loose over here, and I'm like, well, it's stuck here in the center. So the way this works, to get this piece out, you have to leave the wire harness behind, right? The wire harness is adhered with a screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there. Make sure you undo the wire harness from the end over there so you pull the corner out. But there is one screw back here, right? If I can point him out for you. Where is he? I'll find him for you. Oh, yeah. So, pull this down out of the way. Right there, if you look down there, that screw was holding me in. And you can't get him out because, you know, this whole assembly is in here, right? But you can't get your hand back there to get that screw up. So what I did is, from below, I took a flathead screwdriver and I punched it out with a hammer. I don't need this. That screw is not going to do me any favors. I'm not putting it back in. Don't need it back in. Yeah, I had to punch that out to get this to pull out of the way. I mean, it's out of the way now. And I'm trying to figure out if this could have come out first. And I was trying that, and I got most of the bolts out, but it still adhered somewhere. And I wonder if it's behind this fuse panel here. And if you get this out of here, you might be able to get back there to do that bolt, but I don't need that bolt. Or it's not a bolt, it's a screw. That screw is not gonna do me any favors. It's not gonna hold anything in any more than it already is. But hey, this is out. Harness is all disconnected from it. I should be able to pull this out. And then I'm at the HVAC box, which I need to get out, take apart, you know, remove whatever condos are in there. Dropped you guys. I'm flustered by this thing. That was dumb. Yep, so it's out. I'm gonna get it out. Get at that HVAC box, go from there. Dark now, but I'm gonna finish getting this apart. Okay, remember how I said this was similar to the Caravans earlier? Yeah, no, fuck that. This is so much worse. If you ever have to do a heater core on this thing, good luck. Because you gotta do all of that and fighting it on the other side. Luckily, this AC already leaked all of its contents into the environment before we owned the thing, and so it had no pressure in the system, but this heater cord's got two 10 mils in the bottom over here, got one 10 mil over there, it's got one 10 mil on the outside that you can't get to, and then the two AC lines are 13 mil. You can get in there with 10 million extensions and a flex head and all kinds of that jazz to get the two AC lines off. You can't get at the hose clamps for the heater core lines. So what I did, this is what I'm talking about. This is where you're working, back there. There's the one hole right there. See that hole right there? That is a 10 mil bolt, and mine was rusty as piss to get out. I'm not even in here to do a heater core. I'm in here to remove the mice nests and crap in the dash so it doesn't smell, and so this system all works. It's getting a new heater core. I do not care if that one is good. It's getting a new one because I will never do this again. Not on this Jeep. This Jeep is not worth it. So yeah, that's, yeah, besides breaking the one screw on that wire harness holder bullshit, you're able to get every other bolt out you need. It's just a pain. And obviously I'm doing it at night right now because I ran out of daylight. I've almost got this heater core out. All I got to do is disconnect those two hose clamps down there now that I can get at them. And I'm going to pull this out, set it inside. Well, I'm not gonna set this inside because I don't want it to stink up the garage. I'll leave it outside to air out, and then I will take it apart tomorrow. I suppose you can do the fan without having to take anything apart. So if that fan works, we'll leave that. But yeah, it's getting a new heater core. I'll tell you that much. Oh my god. Also, if anybody knows what the purpose of that seatbelt is right there, that it bolts the dash to the like the transmission, like doghouse, whatever you want to call that. What's the purpose of that belt? But I'm gonna have to probably take this apart too and get in and spray the hell out of the heater vents inside this mess here. Yeah, that was a pain. That was a pain in the ass. Oh boy. Yeah, I got it out though. Yeah. If you don't want to take apart that whole front right side of your engine bay, I recommend taking the heater hoses off at the water pump. Or if you got some fancy pliers that bend in 10 different angles to get those, sure, I guess. But once I had it pulled in, it was cakework to get at it then. So, yeah, it doesn't look too bad behind there. Scrub the firewall down real good. Get any residue off of that. Scrub all this stuff down. I got to take the box apart and dissect that. get a hold of a new heater core to put in it, because I'm not doing this ever again, not on this pile of rust.
Helping you replace your windows and patio. Before October 31st, save $275 on every window and save $700 on every patio door. Israel and Hamas and its impact on the nation and even here in Minnesota. We will have every development on our 24-hour newsfeed over at kstp.com. There is an
Alright, I got the 2 coolant hoses back on the water pump. Got the coolant lines connected on that side. And I got the AC lines hooked back up on that side. And we've got our HVAC box back in. So, I gotta put my seal back up there. Apparently that didn't stick when I was moving it. But I got it in, so now I gotta scrub this piece down a bit, clean this up best I can before I put that back on. That way, and finagle everything back together. Carpet is looking pretty good. I think it's about dried out. I got this guy done too. But looks pretty good. I think that will do. Better than it was, and I think I got the smell out of it. So, got the sunroof back in. So that's freaking cool. So what I used is, because I don't have the headliner in, therefore I don't have the wire harness in. What I got set up is I got myself a Makita 18-volt drill battery, and I got 2 wires. That did the trick right quick. So, little trick there for you. If you want to test stuff at the junkyard too, get yourself 2 wires, or literally you could just cut 2 wires to the junkyard. Use your drill battery. That'll usually do you enough to be able to see if something works. Saves you money on that warranty. So there you go. Look at that. Got a sunroof up now. That was the that was a problem. It caused a lot of extra headache. So, but yeah. And before I did that, I went in here and I cleaned up the metal. I cleaned up all around it. I cleaned up the paint, cleaned up the channel, cleaned up the actual sunroof and the assembly. Made sure that the all the drain holes for the vents and like the drain holes were all set up and they're not clogged. So cool. All right, so I got the dash pad kind of just sitting there. I just kind of propped it in here, get it out of the garage. But I just gone through. I just spliced, I don't know, 10 different wires, one up here, I think one up there, one down there, and the entire harness for the sunroof, that is beautifully in place. That might have been part of why it didn't go back down, and there was a couple more and some other random plates. I think, yeah, there was some on the amp harness too. Yeah, the mice did some damage, so I think I've corrected most of it. I gotta look at the harness on the back of the headliner that it had. I gotta verify what's together and what's not on that. So, but yeah, it's getting pretty dark. But yeah, like I just wanted to kind of set this up in here just so it was here and present. So yeah, it's looking good. This dash, I scrubbed it down a little bit. Once I get the interior back, I need to come through with some like Armor All and shine it up a little bit. But hey, it looks good, and I can kind of breathe in this thing now. It doesn't smell bad. Like I got all of the stuff out, and it smells tolerable in here. It's not bad. Honestly, I can't smell anything anymore, but I could before, that's for sure. So, yeah, plan is to get the dash back in tomorrow, finish it up, start it up, kind of test some things that are hooked up, and then I got to start fixing the floor a little bit, just a little bit. So we'll make it doable. This one's gonna be fun because that's a seat bolt. It's currently, yeah. I think I got an idea, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plate completely over it, and then screw into that. That way, the seat itself is sitting on the plate, but it's still adhered to this, almost like a nut. Like, you know, this acts as your nut here. And then it's still structurally sound, like the seat's not gonna fall through. And it'll be a plate probably from about here to about here, and then out to about here, and to about there. And that'll probably just be self-tapered in all the way around. And I'll probably apply a bead of seam seal just to seal the interior. so you don't get water up in here just to soak the carpet. Not that we care about the structural or the, you know, that this gets any worse. She's going. That one I might think about doing the same thing, just preemptively. That's a pretty nasty hole right there. And then obviously we've got that one that's pretty bad right there. And then there's one hiding up here too. That's your ankle vent right there. That's custom. Don't need that in the winter. So, no, it's starting to look pretty good actually. No, dash went together all right. Like I said, I broke the heater cord mount right there. It's fine. It's fine. It's in there. It's fine. Yeah, no, we're looking pretty good to get the headliner in tomorrow. I think Dad's gonna help me with that. So, yeah, not too bad. Not bad for a 2-week speed run here. I still got this all sitting here so I don't forget. Yeah, I don't know. What do you got looking down there? So that's gonna wrap it up for tonight because it's freaking cold. We got I think a frost advisory for tonight, so the pressure washer's been hauled inside. Yeah, not bad, not too bad. All right, I got the steering wheel back up, I got the cluster back in, and I got center console radio section in. Haven't got anything hooked up or tested yet. I gotta put this panel on next. That's ready to go on. But oh yeah, got this guy out. I treated it with some evaporust, cleaned it off, and then I just put my coat of rust reformer over it. When that dries, we're gonna put a coat of paint and primer on it, and then we're gonna put Flex Seal over it. We're gonna see how that does. We're gonna try it. I was gonna put bed liner on it, but I don't have any, and I have that, so we'll do that. So I'm gonna get this whole outside done, and then I'm gonna see what I got left to do the inside of it too. All right, I got the outside of the skid plate for the tank painted and Flex Sealed, and that turned out pretty freaking good, I think. Gotta flip it over when that dries. I'm gonna put it on top of that, and then I will do the inside of the tank. Otherwise, dash is completely back in. Looks pretty good, actually. I just popped those rivets out with a hammer and some vice grips and a nail. Got all those rivets out for the bottom piece for that carpet back there. Next in line, I think, is to get the headliner, patch that, put that in. Yeah, we'll go from there. Oh yeah, there's my pile of extra screws. I forgot something. I'm not quite sure what, but I did forget something. So, you know. Although some of those came from some other pieces I've taken apart too, but I don't know. Whatever, it's together and it seems to hold, so good enough. Yeah, I don't know how that worked at all. Alright, I got the headliner up. I've been busy. I scrubbed out the entire floor. As you can see, it looks a lot better. Smells... I don't smell any mice anymore. It smells fine again. We were having an issue with the dome lights, and that issue was this entire wire harness up here was eaten through. And power was jumped to all the dome lights and this and that. And the sunroof, the down signal cable was eaten off, which is why the sunroof got stuck up. I spent quite a long time yesterday splicing that wire harness. I did save it all, and it all works too. Everything works. The only light we got on that means anything is an airbag light, because the brake and the ABS are because we have no brakes, the gas light's because we have no gas. I gotta figure out what that means. If my dad really said he didn't give a shit, so we'll see. I'm kind of finicky about that. I kind of hate having lights on the dash when there doesn't need to be necessarily, but we'll see about that. But everything seems to work. As you can see, 272,345 miles. The radio did work before I unplugged the amp to clean the carpet. The only thing that doesn't work is that speaker right there. The HVAC box all works. All the blend doors work great. As you can see, this is working right now. He's just, you know, all the doors are open. Except it doesn't recognize that the passenger door is open. That's weird. Why is that? Why don't you think this door is open? How does this sense? I don't know how this thing senses. Oh, now it knows it's open. Weird. Okay, that's something weird with the lock, I guess, through the latch. Don't matter. Yeah, anyway, it runs good. Everything seems to work now, which is fantastic. Headliner's up. It's kind of gross, but that's how it was before. And you try to scrub that, and guess what? You're going to knock the headliner down. All the fabric's going to come loose. So we're going to take that as a win. Now I get to figure the floors out real quick. Well, we got to make it quick because we got to have the carpet in tonight, because for the rest of the week it's going to pour and rain. A couple inches of rain, actually. So we're going to patch the floors one way or another. We'll see what I come up with. All right, that's what we got here. Got 3 plates down here, and then up there you can see a bit of sealer right there. I was able to this one on that side. So that's 3.5 plates to patch this front floor pan right here. And we got this to do, and Dad's gonna cut a good chunk of stainless to make, because this is kind of structural where that seat is. He's gonna make a piece of thicker stainless, and we'll drill that in, and we'll drill a hole so we'll still be able to bolt the seat in. And then it'll kind of crush up against it, and it'll be structural-ish. I gotta find some more plates, but I don't have as much patchwork to do on that side, so that's good at least. Look at that. Carpet's in. So what we ended up doing is we used 5 license plates. I got 3 up on this side going in there. I even drilled a hole to reroute the drain up there. I got 1 up here. Yeah, I showed you that, didn't I? Yeah, I already showed you that. Yeah, we got 5 license plates, and then we've got a stainless steel plate there. We've got the seat bolt in there temporarily to make sure it stayed lined up, and we riveted that in, seam sealed all that. Same deal on that side. I got 1 plate there, and there's 1 plate down in the center. And we got the carpet sitting in here now. It looks freaking sweet. Got the amp just kind of sitting there. But yeah, this carpet cleaned up absolutely phenomenal. Or phenomenally. Yeah, looks freaking sweet. Yeah, I got the heater on full blast right now. Just putting out some good heat, so the heater core works and everything. All that's working. I got the seat vents both working. Those are blowing some air. So, hell yeah. Get that tucked back up in there. There. Yeah, that vent's blowing right there. Yeah, no, it looks sweet. I just gotta get the trim in here and the seats and everything, but that's all gotta get scrubbed down, cleaned up. But it smells good in here. It smells good. Yeah, it looks great. Got the rear seats in. Me and Dad just got these in. We fought them a little bit. I'm 1 seatbelt bolt short. I managed to misplace one somewhere. We'll see if I can find it. But hey, everything's all mostly in. It looks pretty good. Smells a million times better in here. We got some carpet fresh in here just to take whatever's left out of the carpet, get that all vacuumed up. But all these seats are nice. So, yeah, not bad. Couple little miscellaneous plastic pieces. There's a pile of them that got scrubbed up like this under the seats here and there and around there. Those got to go in, and then these door panels got to get scrubbed yet. They never got scrubbed because they never got taken out. But yeah, it's been sitting here running the whole time. We did put I think 2 gallons of gas in it, just top it off, let it run with that. So, nice. Yeah. Looks good, looks good. This is a 5-seater, I guess, because you got 1 middle. Yeah, you get he's got it stuck down under the seat though, but it's in there. And then we got a couple of trim pieces to put in, like there and there and there. Got the 10-disc changer back in. Haven't tested it yet, but yeah, looks pretty good for a quick turnaround there. I think it had it apart for a week, back together the week after. So, yeah, this should make a decent winter beater for this year. It is all-wheel drive, so Dad is looking forward to that, I think. Gotta see if that memory seat works. Kind of curious. Gotta see if the heated seats work too. It's got front heated seats as well. Alright guys, so we're back under this, what is it, a 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and today, we're gonna do this brake line that goes all the way from the front mast, or what do you call it, ABS block, junction block, that goes all the way back to right there. So, yeah, because it's blowing out like here, 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 and a couple more up here. The line is junk. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna do it all right. No weird generic splices and shit. But I'm under here just verifying which line it is coming up. Right as I drop you, right here by the front drive shaft coming off of the transfer case. And there's this line here, which is our line going back. And then you've got this line here, which goes to your front left brake. And ours, as it appears, is the one that goes up and is closer to the firewall. So, with that knowledge, we're gonna come up here and look at the one right here, closest to the firewall, which is that rusty guy right there, which then goes up here and is this one right here. So we got to get him out right there at the junction block. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a nips to that, and then I can put a socket on that and pull it off that way. But yep, just to confirm, we're going to follow this line back here. It goes down and around and is the close one to the firewall before it crisscrosses over and goes that way. Yep, we're gonna cut that guy off, and we're gonna get that out of that ABS pump. And ideally, we'll be able to reuse that connector, that fitting, and go from there. If not, at least I'll have it with me to take into a parts store to get a replacement for it, or if I have one stashed. The connector back there on that soft line, we'll see how that goes. I think poorly, but we'll see. I should also see if they have this soft line. So it looks like it's a one piece, so it's a soft chunk here, and then it's a hard line that's crimped on, and then it goes to a soft line right there into that T. And then that looks like it's got some weird crimpy air breather thing hooked to it. I don't know. What do you think that is? Is that even related? I mean, it is, but like, isn't? Is that the... Where does that go? Is that just the breather for the axle and it's just built into that block? I bet you that's what it is. Yeah, we'll have to think about getting that soft line, but do I want to open that can of worms? How's that hook on back here?
Oh, it's that's permanently affixed. So I don't know about that one. We'll just do the one line first and go from there.
So, this is a 12 millimeter fitting, and I was able to crack it loose from here with that much play. So, this does spin, so we'll be able to get this off. I'm going to continue to fight that there. I tried to get the air box off so I could get down here and get at it flush, but broke that bolt off, broke that bolt off. There's one more bolt holding it on, and we're just going to leave it because that bolt's going to break off too. Yeah, so I cracked that one loose right there off of the ABS pump, and that spun out right by hand. So that's good. That fitting is good. We will certainly 100% reuse that. I cut it right down here. That way I can just pull that section out and then work at the bottom bit here, which, as you can see, has deleted itself on this side. It broke right off there, and you can see this bend where it's snapped there and is leaking fluid. But this differential leak here, look at this shiny line under here. See, oil coating is the best rust protection out there. Like, this is, look at that, fuel lines are shiny and new, at least right there. So, and this just goes to prove you, like, you know, oil right here. This is what is really protecting everything. Anyway, I got it off here, and it's appears to have disconnected itself from the rest. So we're gonna delete on that. Now that leaves us. We go back here, just that little guy up there, and you can see it's leaking around the fitting. Well, you might not be able to, but I can. So it's broke off with the fitting too. Yeah. Yeah, it's wet around the fitting. Yeah, look at that. It just snapped right off. Now I can get the wrench right on there. That's a different size. That's like a 10 or something. I don't know. We'll see. See if I can't get that off. I have to go probably get heat if I can't get it to break loose, which that means I gotta go buy a new torch, because the other torch decided to leave existing, and there's now a dog under here with me. You are ballsy. Alright, well, yeah, so we'll just get this line off, and then from there, I don't think we're reusing that fitting, so I gotta find something that fits that. And then it's just bend the new line in, which I've got right here. I just made sure that I had enough length, which I do. So we'll be good there. Just bend that in, run it up the firewall, and just route it in the quickest way possible. And that'll be brakes, hopefully. Alright, so the size for this fitting is vice grip. Actually, it's 2 vice grips, because you gotta have 1 vice grip to hold the old shit together, because this bracket is so brittle it's gonna snap off. And then you gotta have 1 to loosen the fitting, and it's coming right out, so that's really nice. Yeah, cool stuff. That's it. Now hopefully I can find a fitting on hand that is that size, as I peel more of the structural trailing arm off. Alright, so yeah, this left rear tire was corroded on there pretty good, but good news, line is run. We can maybe get you up there. Yeah, you can see. It runs up there. It's up under the hood, but got it into the ABS pump too, but I got this bleeder off. So it's my next test here. And this side's off. Now I gotta try beat the tire off the passenger side, get that bleeder off. And I think these calipers will have to come all the way off too. I have a feeling they're seized in there. Yeah, I got a feeling the slide pins are stuck. Or it looks like just slide pin. No, there's 2. Give them a fighting chance anyway with a little bit of PB. But yeah, it's got it off. That's a win right there. That saves on that, saves on the calipers. Or at least this one. Don't get too far ahead of myself here, but yeah. I got 1 bleeder out, look at that. Nice. Well, just drove, I don't know, like 4 or 5 miles. So, brakes, that one's not, I mean, it's definitely warm. It's the caliper kind of sticking a little bit. I'm thinking it'll come out of it, because it wasn't like locked. Like, it would be stuck that I couldn't spin with my hands. I get a screwdriver, and as soon as I budged it, it would free up. It's the caliper kind of sticking. Because I popped the bleeder off, and it didn't have any back pressure, so it wasn't the soft line, like, being collapsed or anything. It's definitely that caliper that's sticky, because the slide pins, I greased them up, they're all good. That side's just lukewarm. This side's operating perfectly. And it knocked all the rust off that. That rotor's starting to look good. This is front. That front's good, and it's working. That one's a little warm. I bet you that one's sticky. Look at these mud daubers, holy crap. So this one's warm and that one's warm. So the two on the driver's side are a little iffy. Okay. Yeah, this one will probably have to be greased up. But, in fact, I know this one is. This one's warm. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's frying my spit. So sticky brake here. Sticky caliper there for sure. Hopefully this is just slide pins on this side. Otherwise, brakes work. They will stop the vehicle pretty good. The pedal feels nice. So, and the other lines didn't pop. They held in there, so. Good, it's got brakes now. It's one light off the dash. That one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. So we got an ABS light and an airbag light. Well, that's it don't smoke anymore. Sorry, I distracted here. After doing 2 laps around the old test track here, it doesn't smoke anymore when you rev it up. Look at that. It's just coming out of it. Nice. That takes getting used to. That it just, I mean, it's cool. It backs you out so you can get out, but that's kind of weird. So whoever thought this was a good idea, I just want to talk. Look at that. So the only thing holding in this part of the tank was the 4 plastic clips on the bumper. That was all that was holding that part up. I don't know what's holding the fuel tank up because that's Bluetooth. There's a little bit right there, and like what, 1 bolt up there? And this side's a little better. I don't know, I haven't pounded on that chunk a little, too much. I'd like to say that the fuel sending unit and hoses were what was holding it up. Because these straps sure weren't doing anything, and neither was any of that. We might win after all. He don't look very nice, but it ain't up there anymore. A lot of that. Yes, I know it's not MAP gas. Deal with it. That worked just fine. Alright, so how these bumpers get off, or come off, I should say. There's 2 star bits here, and they are T20s. One here, one there. Then there are 1, 2, 3, and 4 2-piece clips there. And then on either side, I haven't got this one completely off, there are 3 plastic bolt rivets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're one-time use. So you got to replace them with some other form of clip. And after you do that, on the inside here, there are 2 nuts on studs, and hopefully your nuts come off the studs. Mine unscrewed from the plastic. We'll have to deal with that and separating that before we put it back on, or we just send it with this on here and kind of just help it. And once you get those 2 off, you can pry on this, and there's a clip here and a clip here, and the bumper's free. Obviously you got to do that on both sides, and then your bumper should come off. I was hoping there was still structure here. I was worried this was rotten, but it's not, so win. Okay, so you got to get this harness off before you drop the hitch. And if you're like me and you know that these 4 are going to break off immediately, this little guy in here is a little plug with a safety tap. Get a little flathead screwdriver and you butt up against it like this, and then you hold it with one hand, hit it with another, and you'll be able to pop that tab out from here. Because you can't get at it on this. This is solid metal here. You have to push the tab that way. Anyway, that should release the clip. And now I just got to fight with it because it's been on there forever. It's moving though. So I'm going to get that off. But anyway, when you know you're going to break all these, that's how to get the tab out without having to fuck with it. That one was a win. Look at that bolt. There's this nice access hole that was definitely here from the factory, where I could get some PB up there on the top of the bolt. Man, that last bolt I just did was fighting me. I'm like, wait, why won't the hitch come down? I do one of the tank bolts. I didn't, here, there you go. I did the tank bolt, not the hitch bolt. I don't know. Dang it. Here we go again. All right, so I got the hitch out. And so I guess technically, once you get the hitch out, that leaves you 3 bolts left. One right there, one in the front there, which I accidentally already took out, and then one more on this side. And then this will come down. So we're looking pretty good. I think the old Makita's starting to give up on me. I don't know how much she's got left in her. But we're look at that carnage. That's all that's holding that tank up. This side's got a little bit of something, you know, something. But there we go. We're winning. And put it this way, there's enough holes that I got bolts out of that I'll be able to put the tank back up and be okay with it. If we can get the last 2 out, we'll be looking really good. And I'm not reusing that. I've got better bolts from when I pulled a good tank. Those bolts are in much better shape than these. These are junk. I win. It took me 2 hours to get 9 bolts out of the frame, and we didn't break a single one. Isn't that cool? Yeah, because it's 4 on the passenger side, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the driver's side. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful hole. And another hole. That side's a little more solid. Driver's side's considerably worse on this vehicle. But we got them out. There's nothing holding this guy up. Hopes and dreams. Yeah. Now I gotta disconnect the fuel tank. We'll see what that takes. All right, so I got the tank kind of lower here just to see what needs to come out, and we've got the vent and the fill tube that need to come out. We'll see if these go back in. This kind of collapsed, the fill tube. It's rough, not very pliable. But I see a lot of dust and dirt and stuff. This caught my eye right here. So who do you think they ran over? That's a part of a camo shades, like the eye gogs you get at the gas station. Wonder how you got up there, buddy. I don't know. The hinge still works, believe it or not. That's amazing, actually. Alright, in the pile you go. But we've got the fill, the vent, and then we've got the plug right there. And then I see a vacuum line, or not a vacuum, it's an evap line. And then I see the fuel line, maybe 2 fuel lines. 2 fuel lines and evap. Yeah, so it's the fill and the return, and then the evap line, and then we got the plug. So 1, 2 lines, 3, 4, 5, and then a plug. And that will drop the tank. Yay. Well, there she is. There's what's left of that. Got the vent and the fill plugged here. The way I took this off from underneath, the easiest way I found to do it was just to pull the whole fuel filter with and just get this clip. You can't get the tool, at least the tool I have, which is from Harbor Freight. You can't get it in here because of how close it is to the filter. So I was fiddling around with 2 flathead screwdrivers to get under there and pop the clip to be able to pull the line off. But I think the clip is fine. I mean, it looks a little mangled, but it's not. I didn't break it or anything. I didn't break the plastic, so should be able to reuse that, no problem. but I wasn't about to figure out how to get that thing off, and that was not only to do one. So I got a archaeological dig to perform here. Those all looked like factory clips and everything on the fill neck and all that. I don't think this has ever been out. If it has, it was done by the dealer or somebody that used factory equipment, which I doubt any shop would just use the OEM clips for the fill tubes. But look at this. It's absolutely full of dirt. Oh, the strap. Now, if this was a vehicle that was mine and I would spend money on, I would replace this sender while I was in here, but this one works right now, and I'm not about to spend any money on this vehicle, so we're not gonna do that. And I got some work here to do, as you can see. There's so much dirt and whatever in here. Yeah. Anyway, it's out, so we win. Now I just gotta put this in the new cradle and then put the straps on it like you're supposed to have present, and then put it back up. And I hear the coyotes yipping way under, and then bolt it back up with the bolts that are the nicest of the however 18 I have between the two vehicles. So there we go. So we're attempting to keep that one from looking like that one. Got my bucket of fluid film, and I had a brush, and I went down here and I brushed the entire inside full of it. Alright, I got the fuel tank in, I got the lines strapped down. I'm going to put a little more fluid film over top of that, maybe. We'll see. It is what it is. This does the majority of the holding anyway, but that is significantly better than it was. I got everything taped off in case any condensation wants to show up, but it's good to go. Well, we're reading fuel on the fuel gauge, and here, you guys can't see anything. There you go. And we're not leaking fuel. Everything seems good. I just got the tank on up in there. Got everything hooked up though. I'm testing before we bolt the thing back in to make sure nothing leaks, everything's working, and it's running right now, so we're getting fuel. We're reading properly, and it's not leaking at the lines where I hooked it up. So we are all good to go to bolt this tank back into the frame. Turn that off. But yeah, that's how she's sitting. That's sketchy as can be, but you know, that's where we're at right now. So sweet. All right, guys, I got the hitch back up. Rest in peace to the Makita. I think the Makita died helping us here. It died after just after I got the 4 fuel tank bolts up. I had to use the ratchet wrench and put the hitch bolts up myself, But everything's up, everything's tight. We got all the bolts in. Luckily, very well. Yeah, I guess lucky. I took all the bolts from the Jeep that I took the skid plate off of, because all the bolts that came out of this were junk. So I picked the nicest, I think 8 or 9 bolts, however many it is, to go up there to just put up in here, and they all took and they all stayed and they're all tight, and we did it. We got it up. So that fuel tank is not gonna fall out. So that's cool. I just got to get the bumper on here, and we're good to go. And we'll get it off the ramps here. But next thing we got to do on this is the 4 shocks. And I was at U-Pole this last weekend, actually getting parts for my brother's Trailblazer he wrecked in the snow. But we saw a Jeep that had some newer, they're probably Monroes. So we grabbed them, tested them, made sure they worked. But we got 4 Monroe shock absorbers for this Jeep here. I think we paid $12 a piece for them, so that's pretty good, I'd say. And we're gonna put those on there to replace those that do nothing. Those do nothing. Yeah. We're looking pretty good here. Making some good progress now. It's pitch black outside and it's 6:17 p.m. Gotta love winter time. I love it. No, not at all. This sucks. Alright, so now we're doing the shocks here. And these are pretty quick. 10 minutes if your hardware is rusty like mine. And the way it is right here. Here, let me grab one. You've got a bolt with a 10mm head with a 13mm headed nut. 2 of them here. You have to get in here with a 1/4 or 3/8 hardware to get at that, or a good wrench. And those should come out no problem. And then on top here, get down here on the passenger side, see right there? You've got a rubber bushing with a metal like curved washer with a 14mm nut on top. This nut in my case was finger tight. As you can see, these shocks have been replaced at some point, but you can also see that they're blown. I also knew that by the way they felt. So let's see how blown they are. Oh, actually this one's got some pressure behind it still, but it is blown. The seal is blown. As you can see, it's failing. But this one's actually got more pressure than I figured it would have. I figured it would be none. But see, it's got a bushing on both sides here. Yeah, that one still works right now, but it won't for very long because it's leaking fluid. Huh. Yeah, that one works for now. But we're replacing it anyway because we do know that it is fatal, and I have a matching set. So, yeah, we're gonna emergency spare, I guess. But yeah, this does work. It's also, I think it's bent. See that? I think it's bent from the rollover. That's probably why it's leaking. Yeah, see that? I bet you it's bent just a little bit. So we'll cure that problem. I'm thinking it's bent, guys. Like maybe just a little bit. You know what else is bent? If you look here, see this? That's the I don't know what you call it, but it's a shock for the steering, and I think that's bent too. I noticed. And here's our new hardware. New junkyard stock. Anyway, it's blue, so I think that means it's. You know, I don't know what it means. It's blue, okay, guys? I think it means it's Monroe. So we're gonna slap this puppy in there. We're gonna have to do it off cam because I gotta compress it to put it in there. So, but yeah, same process. I think, however, if I remember, these bolt heads in this one, on this side only, were 11mm when I was taking it out. So yeah, keep that in mind that your size may vary. Alright, so we're over on the driver's side now, and got the wheel off, and I have just found some string. What are you doing in there? Come here. Come here. There we go. We have just removed some string. We've got another blown strut, as you can, or not strut, I should say shock. Same one as the driver's side, so they're replaced at the same time. One thing I noticed is these were super corroded, and always when you take some wheels that have been on, specifically aluminum wheels that have been on for a long time, always check this lip here for corrosion, because if there's corrosion here, when that wheel tries to seat here, you're never going to get it to seat right until you get rid of all that corrosion. So I've been picking away at it for a while there. Got it all scraped off of there, and then I scraped that down as best I can. That way our wheel seats flush and it doesn't do this going down the road. But we got our brake caliper off here, and looking at our pads, look at that material we got there. But remember, it had this brake was stuck or sticky. It was hot, and this top slide pin, oh look, that moves nice. Nope, that one don't move at all. It's don't spin, don't do nothing. So that right there is why our brake was getting hot. Yeah, that doesn't do nothing. Don't move at all. So I gotta fight that to get that out. And then I'm not even gonna touch this one. This one's fine. It's greased up nice. So I don't even need to touch this one. That one moves great. That one we're gonna have to take off and free up, clean up, and then put some new brake grease in there. There's some brake gore for you guys. So I had a little bit of old grease on the end there, but that wasn't gonna do very much for you. Not good, no bueno. So that's gonna get cleaned up big time. Probably have to take some sandpaper to that actually. Get that cleaned up so we can reapply some grease and hopefully let it work. I'm actually gonna probably take this one off and I'm gonna inspect it. That's pretty bad. So let's pop this one off. Oh no, see this? Yeah, full of grease, no rust, no corrosion, nothing. We're gonna put that right back where it was, because this one is fine. Something happened here and this was infiltrated. Yeah, that's full of corrosion and rust too. Yeah, we'll probably spray that out. See what we can do to get that cleaned up in there. Probably just grease the slide pin and run it up and back and forth and let the grease absorb some whatever's in there, and then clean the slide pin off again, put some more grease in it, and put it back in after I spray it with probably some brake clean. Okay, so we got a story here. And I'll tell you that story while we're heating this up. So, turns out I did the front two shocks. Both of those shocks had pressure. Like I said, the one was definitely starting to leak, but they both had pressure. Well, I went and I did the driver rear, and I got the top bolt out that you can't see here. And that shock also had pressure in it, but I already replaced the front two, so I was going to replace it anyway. So I went to do the bottom bolt here, and I heated it up, not as long as I'm going to heat this one up, but I snapped that bolt off on the driver's side down here. So what I had to do was get a socket to get onto that nut that's welded onto the axle here, and I had to snap that welded nut off, and then I had to find a replacement nut. And so now it's just through bolted with the new shock on that side. But I'm like, well, you know, I could feel it. I knew I felt a shock bouncing up and down kind of weird, and it was the vehicle would bounce funny over bumps. It was just this one. This one is blown. If we here, I'll give you some light here. I got it held down here. As you can see, it's this is the blown one. You can see it obviously where it's been leaking here. So this is our culprit right here. But now, anyway, I'm happy I replaced them all anyway, because they're all newer. They look nicer, and they're all evenly wore. So we're not gonna, because these have been sitting for a while. Who knows when these other ones are gonna blow out? At least the other one, the four that I put on here, they're newer, so the seals are better in theory. But I'm gonna try save this nut that's welded on here, but I ain't giving it that much hope, and I'll probably have to snap this one off too. But I have another nut. I found a matching one, so I'll be able to replace it. But I'm gonna give this a shot here. Wish me luck. Alright, well, we just took it for a test drive. It rides a lot better. It doesn't do all this bouncy stuff anymore because of that. This brake is nice and cool. So, really all this thing needs is a set of 4 tires, a set of plates, and probably an alignment. And then I think it's good to go. Oh, and that shock in the steering. I'm going to look that up on Rock Auto and see what the cheapest one we can get is. But other than that, I think this thing is done. It needs a wash too. But I think it's ready to go. Well, we're back here in the 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. If you can see that right there, we've got 272,433 miles. I just drove it to work today for the first time. After my dad, technically this is his little project here. I was just doing the interior work and whatnot. He just did the brakes on it. He just put new pads on the rear and then replaced the left rear caliper. And then I think he greased both the front calipers, checked that those pads were new in the front because it was having sticky brakes, at least on the driver's side. So, and I'm the poor soul who got to drive it to work first. And right now, on my lunch break here, we're gonna take it through the car wash, and we're gonna see how that paint cleans up right there. But other than that, we've got this door panel off because we just replaced the mirror on the passenger side. I think he replaced that speaker. I had a couple in the basement. I think he used that one, spliced that in. Otherwise, it runs pretty good. The steering's a little sketchy. That it needs the new, what do you call that? A steering damper, which is the shock. I've got the new shock in the box back there. He's just got to replace it. Other than that, I think it needs an oil change. I'm gonna pick up the oil for him here while on my lunch break, just because I got the time to pick it up. And other than that, drives all right. Goes down the road fine. He's got new tires on it, which I think we got at Polar Parts. I think it was 120 bucks for a nice used set, and they're perfect. So goes down the road straight. He got them balanced. So, but the cars, they drove all right. Not too bad. I think the right rear caliper's kind of hanging up a little bit too. The left one's perfect now, but I think those rear calipers are just the C's from sitting for so long. What is this thing? I think it had plates that were dated 2015, so it was probably parked in late 2014, early 15 after they rolled it. So we're not doing too bad, but we'll have to see. We'll see if it comes out of it. If it's hot when I get home. It wasn't too hot when I got to work. It was definitely, you could tell it was sticking a little bit. We'll see how it is when I get home. If it's hot when we get home, he'll have to replace the caliper, but that's why I'm driving it. Just got to figure out what's wrong, and that's how you figure some of this stuff out. Once it runs and drives, the little quirks they'll show themselves. Other than that, yeah, no, it runs good, but I think we're next in line here, so I'm gonna put you down. We'll see how this goes. No leaks yet. Well, let's see how it turned out. Oh yeah. It's not perfect. It's definitely, it needs a deep scrubbing. See that? That stuff is just in there. And then where it couldn't get right here, but it's definitely more white. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, that's way better than it was. It kind of looks like it's just a regular dirty vehicle now, not a one that's been sitting in a field for 8 years or whatever it was. Stop at O'Reilly's, pick up oil. This thing takes allegedly 6 quarts of oil and takes a 51085 filter, which is the same as all my Caravans. Here's a good look at that Jeep now that it's been washed. My dad went and scrubbed this hood off too, so that looks a lot better. See how white it looks? Isn't that nice? You can see a little bit of algae mold along the seam there where you can't really get at it. This is all dust from driving it. But got all 4 new tires on there. They look real nice. New caliper and pads on this side. And he did end up having to put a caliper on this back one too. So it's got new pads, new calipers on both rears. It's got 4 nice used tires on it. All matching, of course. They're all balanced. So, and the front's got good pads on them, and the calipers all work, so that's not a deal. I think it had brake pads done recently, like as in recently before it was parked. Otherwise, yeah, it turned out pretty good. Looks pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Figured I'd give a quick clip. I think that'll pretty much close out this vehicle. It's really, it's ready to go. I think we got to put the steering, you don't want to call it a stabilizer, but what would you call that? Damper. The steering damper needs to be put on it. Looks like, you see how, oh yeah, I forgot. You know how I bought the oil for it? It's a good thing. The oil filter, when it was sitting here idling on us, sprung a leak. It dumped a bunch of oil out, so that's why it's just oil everywhere. So it got a fresh oil in it and everything too. Now, what are the odds of that though? Keys aren't in it, so I'm not going to start it, but it looks pretty good. Needs to be vacuumed once more. Got to get this door panel back on, but otherwise it's ready to roll. New fender, who dis? I picked up this fender for my dad. He was asking if I saw one to grab one, so I did. I happened to see one. It's not bolted in yet. We just kind of got it. He's got it sitting here, but that right there alone looks nice. He banged this back up into place and bent the hinge back. Before, this body line right here was touching. This hood was touching here and up here. Now you got a nice clean gap. Hood's still pushed up here because it's a little tweaked like that, but not like considerably. But yeah, that body line's good. And when you push this in, it lines up pretty nice here. If I can replicate it like that. That's not terrible. The hood probably could come over just a hair, but where'd the white paint come from? Or white something? Something I'm touching. Paint's coming off, or I don't know. The only thing I didn't have the pinstripe, but I'll see if I can find something that's similar to that and just. Otherwise, that looks pretty nice, if you ask me. Yeah, that's way nicer.